What's going on, guys? So I'm going to bring it to you quick this week for UFC Seattle. First, let's go over UFC London last week. I think we did amazing. We had a lot of plus money props, 3 plus money props. Iwo Bariansky in round 1 made a lot of sense at plus 105. Plus 200 on the women's fight to go under. Again, it made a lot of sense. I broke it down in my video why that would go under. Plus 200 was a crazy steal. We also hit our hammer, obviously. We hit our MVP, plus our Luke Riley, plus 105 for both on the hammer. Who picks 2 people for a hammer shot? Risky business, but that's us. Also hit on one of our props. MVP plus over 105 made a lot of sense. Plus 120. We did amazing last week. We hit a lot of plus money props. On to this week, UFC Seattle. I'll be honest, not as much plus money props as last week because I'm not just going to throw random props at you unless I believe in them. Last week I found them. This week, it's hard to dig for them. And if it's hard to dig for them, it's because it's a little too risky. I'm not having you guys lose money. We're here to win money together. UFC Seattle this week. Not touching the main event much. I do think it goes over if I were to give you my inclination of what happens. I think it goes longer. I think Joe Pyfer comes in here with a wrestling game plan. Will that go well for him? Will it not? I don't know. So I'm just going to watch this fight and enjoy it. But I do think it goes over. Betting breakdown for UFC Seattle. Here's what we got. Hammer, Ricky Simone. We're 3 for 3 so far. We're perfect on Hammer since we started. This will make it 4 to 4. This will make it a perfect month. I'm really confident in Ricky Simone here at minus 150 odds. I think he's been dipping down to minus 140, minus 160. The odds are all around. It's a good fight. Adrian Yanez, though, he's a boxer. I think he can lose this fight in multiple ways. That's why Ricky Simone is genuinely the value here. And he's fighting in his backyard in Washington State. He was a Washington State wrestler. That's why I trust him to do his game plan and wrestle out there. Also, Adrian Yanez stays heavy on that front leg. We've seen his calf get eaten up before. Ricky Simone's smart. He's got good fight IQ. He's going to eat away at that leg, and he's going to shoot his takedowns. He's going to win this fight. He can win all 3 ways. He can win by a finish. He can win by a sub. He can win by a decision. Ricky Simone's the hammer this week. On the money lines. Feeling good about these money lines. I got Terrence McKinney against a fellow Canadian, Kyle Nelson, which sucks, but that's how you know there's no bias. Terrence McKinney, I think, is just a way better fighter. He's going to get him out of there in under 1.5. He can get him out of there even at the beginning of round 2. This round 1 or bust thing for Terrence McKinney, I get it, but not Kyle Nelson. He doesn't bring the same amount of danger as a Chris Duncan and a lot of these guys Terrence McKinney's fighting. Generally, the levels are just different. So Terrence McKinney gets this, minus 140. Made a lot of sense. That's good value. Then we got Sterling, a little bit juiced, but like I said, last week, Iwo Bariansky, I threw him in there. I tried to not touch chalky lines on the money lines, but I give it to you guys because it's safe for the parlays. I'm letting you guys know. Sterling's good. He wins by KO or decision. Didn't want to mess around with either one. Sterling to win. Easy. Hooper's my next one against another fellow Canadian, which sucks. Like, I'm cheering for Canadians. I'm going to Winnipeg in a few weeks. Like, I'm there to support all the Canadians. But here, I think the UFC knows what they're doing in Seattle, and both Canadians are going to lose, sadly. Lance Gibson's just not as good. Look at his competition. He barely fights good fighters, and when he does, he loses. Even the split decision with Bobby Green, I didn't think that was really a split. I think Bobby Green won that unanimously. I think Hooper's just a better fighter here. I think he's longer. I think generally he's going to look good on the striking, even though people think Lance has the striking advantage. I don't think so. And obviously, if it gets down to the ground, Hooper can win. And if it goes to decision, I see Hooper winning the decision. The values on Hooper here makes a lot of sense. Last but not least, Bahamondes. Bahamondes is a good fighter, man. Trains with Bilal, all those guys out in Chicago. He can wrestle. He's already got a triangle choke on his record. Guy can grapple. I can see him winning here because the grappling is Tawfiq's weakness. But also, I can see Ignacio standing up because he's generally a better kickboxer than his opponent here, too. He can win in multiple ways. Again, the value's on him. I got him at minus 270. He's bouncing all around, minus 300, minus 270. It's good odds. Ignacio Bahamondes to finish it off. Now for our props. Again, I apologize, not a lot of plus money props. Did my best this week, but again, I'm not going to feed you guys props that are not going to hit. So let's start off with the plus money one. Abdul Malik by sub or decision. Makes a lot of sense at plus 225. I don't think Belguri's takedown defense is very good. I've been seeing clips online. It looks staggered. It looks like choppy. It's weird. I know he works at Glover and those guys, but he's too old to be amazing at grappling. I think Abdul Malik's just younger. He's making the strides quicker, and he's going to make it look easy here. Maybe not necessarily easy, but he's going to win this fight. I don't think he knocks out Belguri. Belguri's never been knocked out. He's a great kickboxer, but I think he's going to get in on those long legs. He's going to hold him against the fence. He's going to win a decision here, or he's going to find the sub. At plus 225 for both options, that's a steal. I love it. Next line, Douglas by KO. I almost threw Douglas into the money lines, but at minus 330, it made no sense, and if he wins, it's by KO. The UFC knows what they're doing here, throwing Julian Erosa, an aging vet, against this young knockout power puncher. Julian Erosa has 7 knockout losses. First of all, a lot of fighters don't even get 7 knockout losses on their whole career. Julian Erosa's had a lot of these knockouts in the last few years. I think that he's going to get caught here, and it's only a matter of time before Douglas finds that shot. At minus 150, I think it makes a lot of sense. Similar side is Michael Chiesa. Also have him in the props at minus 130 for sub. That's going to bounce around, so I hop on it quick. So a lot of people are going to juice that line. Michael Chiesa wins this by sub. Eco price filled in short notice. It's not enough time for him to be able to wrestle. He's not going to have the chops. He's not going to survive 3 rounds with Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa went hard in this camp. He's in good shape because it's a retirement fight. And I'm actually really happy he got a good winnable fight for his retirement, because not a lot of times do you get a winnable fight in your retirement. They never walk off happy. This is awesome. Sub minus 130 makes a lot of sense. I love that line. And last but not least, because I said I had a lot of trouble finding plus money odds for you guys, I threw together a little parlay. Now, you can mess around with this parlay however you want. If you don't think somebody wins, you could take one out. Or, I got Douglas in here. You can just throw Douglas by KO instead of his money line if you want to boost it more. But generally, wholeheartedly, I find these 6 fighters win. And these are just about plus 300 on the odds. I think that's honestly very, very good value. I'll read them off. I got Thainara, all money line. Thainara, Hooper, Sterling, Douglas, Chiesa, Bahamondes, all to win, plus 290. That's what I got it at. You might be at it at a little higher. You might get it at a little lower. But I love that parlay. This has been the UFC Seattle Breakdown. Sorry it was quick, guys, but I genuinely mean business, and I've been on top of it this week. Enjoy the fights. God bless you guys. Let's win some money.